Howdy Risk Nation, this is my first game as GM. I don't usually do 1v1s, but I decided I would make for a quick video. As such, I'll point out some mistakes I made that hopefully we can all learn from. In order to be the best, you gotta never stop learning. I decided to take a territory in Australia because the bots might be dumb enough to eventually let me have it while my opponent is in North America. I decided the next safest continent to go for is going to be Africa. Europe is hard to hold versus bots, and South America is too close for comfort to my enemy. Plus, the bots really love going for South America, and I think they will serve as a good buffer between us. So I start placing in Australia first to see if the bots will let me have it. It is important with blizzards to identify strong positions, like Greenland Blizzard allows North America and South America to be held with 2 choke points instead of the usual 3. Combine that with the Euro Blizzard, however, you can hold Australia, Europe, and Africa with only 2 choke points. Next, I start placing in Africa, since purple and yellow are leaving it alone. Africa is a strong continent, especially in progressive, because you can be centrally located to easily take out other players for their cards when it becomes worth it. It is interesting to notice there's only 1 extra troop in Europe until Orange adds a couple. Now this is where the fun begins. Bots can have different personalities. This green bot, for example, is clearly going for Asia. My opponent in the red is going after North America and successfully conquers it. I give him the well played. Other bot personalities, like this purple one, is one of my favorites, where it stacks all of its troops together in one territory and crushes anything in its path. For my turn, all I did was conquer a single territory to get the territory card. Only attack a 1 defending troop territory to waste as little troops as possible. Here the green bot finally conquers Asia. During this draft stage, red is more worried about matching orange's troop count. He took a risk attacking Kamchatka with only 4 troops in Alaska. To have 100% odds with balanced blitz, you need 5 or more. Its odds of that 18v13 roll was 88%, which it took and got a very favorable roll. Again, this purple bot takes the only territory it can, destroying anything in its wake. I don't really know what the purpose of yellow is trying to do right now, but it wastes all of its troops trying to kill orange. Plus, it only has 1 card, so it's not really worth it when the set is worth 4. Here, the green bot retakes Kamchatka and secures Asia. Red, on the other hand, is still worried about green's bot and reclaims Kamchatka, leaving purple with only 1 option to suicide into them. Surprisingly enough though, purple only reinforces in its turn. I cannot take Brazil and give that 15 anywhere else to go but into red. So I decide now is as good a time as any to conquer Australia, and got some really good blitz rolls doing so. Finally, I get yellow to move his troops from Madagascar, splitting them evenly 4 and 4. Right now I'm planning to take yellow on my next turn, which is made even easier when orange takes his other territory in Europe. This turn is blundered by red. He still focuses his efforts on green when he should be worried about the 15 stack in purple that is going to suicide on him, since it didn't last turn. Even better, it's a 20 versus 14, which is a 92% bounce blitz roll. The hatched lines in Brazil means that I can get an extra 2 troops there if I own it when I turn in my set. So if I take it before killing yellow, this turns the set into 1 worth 6, which is almost equivalent to yellow's troop count. Once I cash in the set, you can see that my troop count went down by 3 instead of the expected 2, due to the bad blitz roll while killing yellow. So instead of trying to defend Africa, because I know it won't be able to, I decided to place troops in North Africa. This can potentially set me up to kill orange on my next turn if he doesn't trade in. Instead, orange kills purple's only territory that red couldn't get to. This sets my opponent up to kill purple. And just as I expected, green breaks my continent. This turn is played very well by my opponent here. He gets to kill purple's 15 troops while only losing 5. I try to dissuade my opponent from taking me out in Africa by paying him a compliment, hoping he'll stop at Brazil and fortify the Americas with its 2 choke points. However, it is not my lucky day, and he tries to wipe me out in Africa. I notice I have Siam, which I'd like to get the extra 2 troops from. However, I don't own it yet, and I need to turn in my set right now before Red kills me, since he is at 5 cards. Here, I get overconfident and think I can break Red and still kill Orange. I needed to do either, but not both. Had I killed Orange, I would have been able to turn in a set with which to break Red. Alternatively, I could have just cleared Red out of Africa, South America, and then break North America, then fortify that army back to North Africa to let him run his stack down, which he would get from his trade-in. This would increase my chances to successfully defend if he goes after my stack, which is typical in a 1v1. Here my opponent turns in Peru, which is why you see an extra 2 troops show up. He is smart by continuing to stack there, but in balanced blitz you need 9 troops to 100% kill 3, so it's possible he could lose when he attacks. Also, continues to get great blitzes against green, then fortifies to defend against me. I do not get enough troops to have a decent shot at breaking my opponent's continents, so I take a territory to get my card and set up a retaliation effort on Red if he comes after me again, or set up to kill Orange if I am lucky enough to get a set of 3. Ultimately, I decide against taking Africa because it is so unlikely that either bot lets me keep it. And now, for the first time, Orange has a continent. I could not have asked for a better ally than the green bot, who immediately rampages and breaks Red. I am not off the hook so fast because now it fortifies the stack next to me, and Red continues to get amazing rolls. I am super lucky to get a set of 3, and it will allow me to get a +2 on Siam. Unfortunately, I blunder this turn big time. Since I was already planning to take out Orange for his cards at the end of last turn, that is what I continue to do. However, since Green dealt a massive blow to Red this turn, I can actually take my opponent out this turn. With 5 I already have against his lonely 1 is 100%, and then the 5 upkeep I get plus the 25 for the cards gives me 30 against his 22 and 12 territories. Instead, I blow all my troops trying to get to Red to break North America, and then turns out I didn't have enough troops to do so. This leaves Red with a bunch of troops to deploy, which he could use to completely direct me. Instead, he lets me keep a completely undefended Europe, and then he blocks his own troops with fortifying back to Alaska instead of Kamchatka. That works for me. This gives me the extra troops I need to ensure victory when I turn in my set. Well, Risk Nation, that is it for me in this first video. I was able to take away a good couple lessons from this video, and I hope you were able to do the same. I hope you enjoyed it, and there will be more to come. My forte is progressive world domination and progressive zombies, so let me know if you want to see anything like that. Remember, the dice odds will be with you always.